Next tonight on BBC Scotland, it was a big year of news. We look back with Des. And later at 10:30, we examine the state of romance. We see the highs and lows of dating in 2019 later. The state of it looks at romance in half an hour. Before that on BBC Scotland, adult humour as Des and some friends take us down memory lane.
I'm Des Clark, and you're watching the best of Breaking the News. So, over the next half hour, we are looking back at the best bits from the last two series. We are still the show that breaks the week's news, but this time, we're asking dozens of opinionated panellists to put it back together. This week, we are coming to you from the Tate Hall in Kelso, the Assembly Rooms in Edinburgh, Pitlochry Festival Theatre, from Johnston, Bathgate, Ayr, Glasgow, the Palace Theatre Kilmarnock.
We all wonder about what will be the undoing of Trump, and I think it will be his naivety. He's granted 2 private audiences to Vladimir Putin. The leader of America's most potent enemy has been able to sit down with the president. Now, quite apart from the information he would have definitely got out of Trump, it wouldn't surprise me if Putin has secreted a bugging device on him and he hasn't noticed yet. I just want to say, by the way, I hear beeping at night. And nobody knows what it is, by the way, nobody knows. Nobody knows. I think it's my ideas coming in.
Yes, the President and First Lady Melania Trump will be a guest of the Queen and attend a ceremony in Portsmouth to mark the 75th anniversary of D-Day.
I can't wait to hear Trump's own personal account of his experiences in Normandy.
I imagine Donald Trump will think D-Day is the Queen getting a new boob job.
Are you going to have to make the stamps bigger? I don't know.
Lucy, what about it then? Obviously, everyone already talking about it. There may be protests, but Trump is now coming to the UK.
Well, the best thing about the last time was the Scottish reaction, because when you guys protest, you do it amazingly. I did actually, I was jotting down some of the slogans that were, maybe you could translate some of these. May your arse break out in boils, you scunner. That was on a banner.
That's poetry, that is.
I don't know what a scunner is, but I'm pretty sure he is one. Yeah. Go home, you big orange jobby. Your Moore was an immigrant, you tangerine roaster.
That's also a Mother's Day card.
You think, you know, by now we're getting used to all these referendums and elections and all the rest of it, and they're going about the lies at the side of the bus and that, but Scots folk are used to that. I mean, my school bus had Jim Pumped Debbie written along the side. That wasn't true.
Yeah. No. Raymond, what about it? Chris Grayling, he's hanging on to his job. How long for, do you think?
Well, I think he did. I mean, who else has got to do it? But he's been given the moniker of Chris Failing Grayling.
Yes.
So they've had a synonym with his second name, or, you know, Chris No Ships Sailing Grayling. No, he turned up. Well, he never turned up in Parliament, because what he did was he said to his mate, Matt, would you put your head on the block, Hancock? To answer questions from the Labour Transport spokesman, Andy Appalled McDonald, and SNP Joanna, no sign of a fairy cherry.
Jay, any ideas what is currently going on and where we might go next.
Okay, so the way I understand it is that Parliament have said no to Theresa's deal and they've said no to no deal, but some of them said yes to no deal but no to Theresa's deal, but not as many that said no to no deal and no to Theresa's deal, but they don't actually have a deal of their own, which is a big deal because without a deal, then no deal is more likely to be the deal that's dealt, and the people who want the deal can't be dealing with that.
There's a survey came out saying that Scottish folk are terrible for arguing in the houses.
It's absolutely right, yeah. This is the poll that's reported that 2 out of 5 Scots fall out with their own families after just 1 hour of being in their company. Judy, I'm not suggesting that you might have a competitive family, but was this the story that you remember in your house? Were Andy and Jamie arguing, or were you there trying to police that?
I think the arguments that would happen over family get-togethers would always be when there was a board game and one particular person, who may be my younger son, wasn't winning, and the board would be up and everything would be thrown. It wouldn't really matter what it was. It could be cards or it could be Monopoly or whatever. And then you would have to put it all back together again and you'd have to change the rules. So, yeah, the competitive thing was usually what caused the arguments, but it was nearly always Andy that caused the argument.
Yeah. Did you give him 3 challenges and say after that you're done? What about your family? Were they big arguers then? How long have you got?
An hour, an hour without an argument's a good McCabe Christmas. It's quite funny when I go and visit my mum and dad because they now hide from me. When I turn up, they're like, oh, we can't be annoyed with her. No, my mum's standing behind me.
Yeah. I love how it's totally switched around.
Oh, yeah, and it has got to that point because they're now in their early 70s and I'm just about to hit 40, so it has totally got to that bit where I'm like, see if you two don't just sit in the back of this car, there'll be no garden centre the day.
Put this out as a tweet, but it really happened, which is that my dad had to sleep on the couch because my ma caught him Googling the BBC Scotland weather woman. And so it's nice to meet the woman that's responsible for my parents' divorce.
I met my wife at one of my jobs, and that was frowned upon, because a lot of people say that the guards shouldn't date inmates. But we've proved them wrong because we're very happy. Yeah. Well, we will be in 5 to 6 years. But,
There was just a story about the pupils in Edinburgh who are getting a day off school so that they can protest global warming.
That is exactly right. You agree with it, Mark?
Well, I think it would have been pretty miserable of the council to deny it and be like, kids, we know the world is coming to an end, but is there anything more important than learning to play the recorder, you know?
When I heard the story, I couldn't help but go, oh, that is so like Edinburgh. That it would be Edinburgh parents that would go, oh, absolutely, yes, you must go and protest. And we've got plenty of staff to cover anything anyway, so...
See, I wish I had that when I was at school. You know, you're away dogging it, right? And then you get into school the next day and the teacher goes, Mearns, where were you off yesterday? Hey, I was out there, pal. Trying to sort out a problem you've made. Trying to fix what the damage you've done to the environment. And he'll say, exactly, Raymond, what does you going shoplifting in the Parkhead Forge? Got to do with my carbon footprint.
I was just going to say, if anyone online is looking for me for dating and whatnot, my name is not spelt like that.
What?
It goes...
Hang on, has anybody got a Sharpie? Can we correct this?
It goes E-I-N, and I'm single, I'm not. Ooh. So, But this is the thing, because the ferry from Shetland to Aberdeen, they used to always print your name on the ticket. And every time I sailed, they'd call me like Mary Jane, Margolene, one time marijuana, which is hard to board a boat with. But the last time they ever wrote my name on the ticket, they got Mariolane right, but they called me Mariolane Bobertson. So...
It's lovely to have you here, Marijuana Bobertson.
So this was my favourite story this week. In Norway, some fishermen found a beluga white whale in the water that had a very fashionable harness from Russia on it. So they think it is a spy whale, which I'm really excited about. But the Russians have said they've not done it on porpoise, so...
Are there any other animals that you think we could train to do things?
Well, you've got Edinburgh food vendors have trained seagulls to knock the food out your horn at the front.
We need an animal that was strong, that could defend itself, but that can also go undetected. So I pick an elephant, because if it was in the room, no one would mention it.
Genius. Jeff, do you buy into this then, that we're working longer hours but we're not as productive as others?
Totally reject this. We're very, very busy in the office. You know, we get a lot done. We get in at 9, obviously you've got to catch up with social media for an hour. 10 till 11:30, you actually get stuff done, you know what I mean? And walk around with a bit of paper in your hand. Then 12 till 1 is the run into lunch, then lunch 1 till 2, then catch up in your correspondence, surprise burst of work till 3, right? Walk around with the paper again, 4 till 5, you're almost going home, 5:15, in your coat, standing by the door. How can you tell me we're not getting things done? There you go. Busy people.
I actually, believe it or not, I did an internship at the Treasury in London and managed to blag my way through the interview process until I was invited to number 11 Downing Street and my sister came with me.
Oh.
And she was getting introduced to Gordon Brown, who was the Chancellor at the time, and she just shook his hand and she went, "So, do you work with my brother?" And he was so polite, he went, yes, I do.
Yes. James, what's his name? The chubby guy, James Corden, that's it. He was complaining that the chubby guys in the movies never get to fall in love or have sex. Why is it news when he says what women have known for years?
Yeah! I love how he's been typecast as the chubby guy, and we went, you know, James, the chubby guy. We all went, Corden, that's him.
He said the entertainment industry is like a big banqueting table, and I thought, you're not helping yourself here.
Or maybe he is.
Well, he
that's
probably is, that's the thing.
I mean, frankly, for fat lasses like me, since Rubens stopped painting, you know, we've just been right out of the picture.
If you had the eye of a casting director, what would make the perfect romantic movie for you? How would it look?
Me and Lewis, we could do Titanic on a ferry heading to Rossi. Yeah. Get a chip, son!
Yes! She's the queen of the world, by the way!
I have to say, from personal experience, it's only on screen that you can't get a shag if you're fat.
This is actually a myth-busting piece of news that the majority of us Scottish people have never actually eaten a deep-fried Mars bar.
I actually made the news when I tried Scottish food for the first time. I tried a tatty scone for the first time, which I initially called a potato scone. Let me tell you, that doesn't go down very well. Yeah, I tried one, and my boyfriend introduced me to them. He's a Scottish man, and he came home one day from work to find me dipping them raw into hummus and sweet chili. He then photographed.
Disgusting.
He photographed this. It went viral. It made the news. The responses on Twitter ranged from dump her to kill her. So I had quite a sort of feisty introduction to Scottish cuisine.
This is research that says cats feed off the energy of their owners. So if the owner is anxious, the cat will be anxious. And it's just interesting because people have the wrong opinion of cats, that they're aloof or they're in some way insensitive, and they're not. They're gorgeous, wonderful creatures, and this is just reaffirming that cats can give you the love. I mean, sometimes they'll hurt you very badly. But other times, they are very affectionate, beautiful. Abby comes under the covers with us at night and snoogles in, and all the cats are on the bed, and it's just a... Do you know, sometimes Pickle's only got one tooth because she's old, and the vet said she needed chicken. And so I got chicken breast, and I chewed it and then fed it to her. Using my mouth like Lady and the Tramp.
Is the right answer. Well done to Susan. That is kind of the answer. It went creepy, I'm not going to lie, but...
If your child required you to do something, then you would do that. The cats are my children. If her ear needs cleaned, I will suck her ear.
No! Why are you saying this?
If you've been affected by any of the issues in this programme...
Odd. This is the news that... Research, is there any point in reading this? It's the news that researchers at Nottingham Trent and Lincoln Universities looked at more than 3,000 cat owners, asked questions about their personalities, then dismissed it when they met Susan Calman.
My dad once won a turkey at a raffle.
An alive one?
Really?
Were you there when it happened?
Yeah, and my dad came back and he went, I've won a turkey, and they're delivering it, and a guy pulled up in a van, and we just heard...
No.
Yeah.
I thought you meant one.
No. Turkey kind of swanned into the kitchen going, right, which one of you lads is going to do this? Yeah.
Oh, God.
And my granny was 90, and she went, I'll do it.
And did she do it?
God, yeah. She stared at the turkey, and the turkey killed itself.
According to ecologists, the Netherlands has its first resident wolf population for 140 years. This has reignited suggestions that Scotland should reintroduce wolves into our woodlands. Think that's a good idea, Athena?
It's all a bit ridiculous. I was reading about it, and there's an ecologist who says they found out that the wolves are breeding because they looked at the wolf drop-ins, and apparently the drop-ins are just like Tinder. And I don't think this guy is... I don't think this guy's been on Tinder. I don't think he appreciates it has nothing to do with drop-ins. But apparently you can look at the wolf drop-ins and you can tell whether the wolf was male or female. You can find out about whether they've got a good sense of humour.
I'll remember that in my next date. It's going so well. Do you mind if I take a look at your jobby? Wow, Sagittarius. So it seems like they're coming back to the Netherlands. Could it be, Ray, that we are going to have wolves reintroduced to Scotland, maybe in the Highlands?
I can't believe that wolves are in the EU and we are not. Like, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I was a bit concerned that I was actually walking through a park and there was some young, they were teenagers, right? And an owl came out the woods and flew over the owl flew over them and just kept going. And this guy, who must have been about 16, 17, turned round to his mates and went, "Did anybody see that owl?" I didn't think they existed. I thought that was just a creature from Harry Potter.
I smuggled a goat into a nightclub.
That's no embarrassing. That's a Saturday night out for Jim.
I was going to say, that's just,
What nightclub's that?
It was...
Sorry, Jim just asked, what club was that?
Hey, sorry, no kids.
Love it. Go on, tell us what happened.
So this was on one of those like 18 to 30 holidays in Zante in Greece, and we were in the queue for the lineup, and this goat just trotted. I mean, it says a lot about what sort of club it was that a goat trotted past the entrance. But we were all quite steaming off a drink, I believe is called ouzo, and my friend was like, "I bet you can't get that goat into the club," and I just thought it would be the funniest thing in the world, thinking this will make me an absolute legend. Turns out it just gets you absolutely blocked, and everyone sort of huddled round me so the bouncers wouldn't see. It was only a small goat, I'm not a weirdo, and I got it in, I put it down on the dance floor thinking I was, you know, biggest legend in the world, stepped back and then realised it's actually quite a responsibility as a goat, and also, as it turns out, a cock block. Turns out lads don't go for a lady with livestock. Yeah.
Till now.
Hillary and Chelsea Clinton have written this book about gutsy women. I think we've all had gutsy women in our lives. Who would be one that you would think of, Ray?
Anyone that's ever worked in Greggs.
You're here. You're here. Jim, what about you in your life? Who would be the gutsiest woman that you've ever met?
I'm right here, Jim.
Can I say, off topic, you know, Des and me both do Andy Murray impressions, but we're both too polite or scared to do them today.
I've heard Des's many times and it's crap.
Oh, it's not. It's really good.
So the pressure's on you, Jim.
Yeah. They've got to slow it right down, get the croakiness of the voice there. And yeah, like Monopoly, I just used to go mad at Monopoly.
I actually made the mistake of not only doing it to Judy, I did it to Jamie and to Andy as well, which was really bad. I was trying to do an Andy Murray impression to Andy, and he said, that kind of sounds a little bit like me. And I said, that's the idea of it.
And then he turned round to me and said, who's that idiot?
And I said, it's your son. It's the news that the boss of Scotland's Transmit Music Festival, Jeff Ellis, says that we need more women to pick up guitars and join bands if we're going to have a 50-50 gender split at major festivals.
More women should be picking up guitars. Pick up the guitars yourself, you lazy oaf.
I hadn't actually heard of the TRN SMT festival prior to... Is it pronounced...
It's yeah. In the defence of Jeff Ellis, who organises this festival, the reason why it's called Transmit is because he says that there aren't as many vowels to choose from. Yeah. So we'd like to encourage more vowels into the alphabet, maybe. Yeah. Jamie, is there something in your life that really annoys you?
The one thing I was thinking, like, I sometimes, because of my eyesight, I don't get taken seriously in various areas, and one of them is casual conversation, right? Because I was in the pub with some of my able-bodied friends, and we got talking about action films, right? And no joke, I said I'd enjoyed the film Rambo 4, to which my mate said, "How the hell do you know?" Oh. And before I could say, you know, it's got audio description, you know, Rambo takes out the helicopter with a bazooka. Go Rambo, right? Hey, my other mate said, it's cool, he'll have read the book.
We always put the tups in bonfire night, 7th of November, because that means they're lambing, or the ewes start lambing the 1st of April.
7th of November?
Aye. Well, no, when's bonfire night?
The 5th.
So they're in...
I mean, the whole phrase is, remember, to him, the 7th of November.
Sorry.
The tups go in.
No wonder he's like, nobody else is letting off fireworks. Jamie, are you into Black Friday? Do you any shopping for this?
Not at all. I didn't really know it was a thing until really recently. And obviously, yeah, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It sounds like sort of Craig David's had a re-release. I don't know. Like I thought about it. It's just another example of Britain trying to get a deal and not managing. Genuinely though, the more I thought about it, it is quite a lot like Brexit, right? It's quite worrying for small businesses. We don't really need it. It's pitched as saving us money, but it's actually proved quite expensive. When we first heard it, we all thought, is it racist? And ultimately, it's an American ideology that's infiltrated British consciousness. It was a much nicer idea than actually putting it into practice.
People just lose their minds at Christmas. Like, they just do stuff they wouldn't do throughout the year, like Black Friday. My wife and I went down and leathered a guy for a telly in Asda. Right? Honestly. And then with the 20 quid we saved, we put it towards a sausage in the Christmas market in George Square.
Elaine, what about you? Are you disappointed at this idea that we might be getting conned?
Well, it's kind of our own fault, isn't it? Never impulse buy. That's also the advice Yoda gives when buying deodorant.
I have to say, Des, I am a big fan of the Christmas schmaltzy film. Let me tell you, Des, I love it. They're always made in Canada. Always. Every single one of them. They're made in the same village in Canada with the same Canadian actors. And it's always a woman who's sassy and she's called, you know, like something like Claire from the city. And she left the big city and the fast life of the big city. And she started to open a wee bakery shop and she's making wee cakes. And there's always a lovely gay sidekick who's like, girlfriend, those cakes are great. And then she does that. And then she makes cakes. And then there's a man in the village. His wife slowly died. Something happened. It's a shame. She's dead by then, and he's now single, and he comes in and his heart is hard and he can no longer love another woman, but he sees her cakes, the gay best friends, like, go girlfriend, and then they two get together, and then a big Christmas magic happens, and at the end they have a kiss under a tree.
There you go. That's Christmas. That is it. Fingers on buzzers. Here we go. What is 6 times older than previously thought?
Rod Stewart.
Should be the right answer, but it's something else. What is 6 times older than previously thought?
I think is it not the River Nile?
The River Nile is the right answer. Well done to Judy Murray. Congratulations. Did you have any hilariously funny wrong answers? What is 6 times older than previously thought?
The length of time it'll take Scotland to qualify for a major tournament.
That and then some, isn't it? There's one person in the crowd applauding. That's Stevie Clark. What is 6 times older than previously thought? I can give you thank you very much. Well done, Judy. The right answer is the Nile. Right, next one. What happens every night in 383 Scottish households?
I know this because I read it.
Right, don't give us the right answer.
It's not really a quiz, Judy.
No,
chill out.
No, I know you're very competitive and you want to win. But we're playing mixed doubles and you're not allowed to hit the ball yet, right? The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye!
Ed Byrne performs his sellout Edinburgh Fringe show at the Tramway in Glasgow. Spoiler alert is at 11. And spoiler alert, it's very funny. Next though, love and marriage. What does romance look like in the modern day?